Hello guys, today we're going to talk about some basics of HLSL, high-level shaded language, inside Unreal Engine Material Editor, especially in the custom node. Okay, without further ado, let's create a material. Let's name it min underscore HLSL basics. Okay, let's open it up. Let's first create a custom node and just give it comments. Let's name it 01 data type. We're gonna talk about data type first. In custom node, we can use float, float 2, float 3, and we can do float 4 as well. And we can do matrix 2 by 2. You can do float 3 by 3. And 4 by 4 for sure, and you can do integer. You can do integer to vector to integer, and 3, 4. You can do that. You can do matrix in 2 by 2, integer 2 by 2, 3 by 3 as well. You can do boolean. That's just and you can also have texture sample, but those are not very common to use, so we're gonna just have the common use one here. Okay, so with the further type, with the data type in mind, that we're gonna continue to go to the next section to know how to declare the variable. Okay, declare the variable, how to declare variable. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Basically, you have to your type in the very beginning, and you're gonna name your variable something. Let's just say something. Okay, and you can end it like this, or you can give a value like. Okay, so this is how you can actually declare a variable. All right, so we're gonna to go to the next section. We're gonna say if because this is kind of like a very easy understand, so I'm just gonna go so quickly. Okay, then we will have a practice later. So we're gonna have basic rules. So once you have your data, you're gonna remember you have to declare your float type and your variable name in semicolon. All right, so at the very end you need to remember to return something. If you have two different variables that you declare in the code, you need to return, let's say return some value here. Then just remember to add a semicolon at the very end. When you run the code, it should return this value. If you just change it to 0.2, and the shader will answer that. So the rules is very easy. You have to remember you have the semicolon, and return. Okay, so this is basically you can declare the type, data type, and name. Either you're gonna add equal to the certain values or not. Okay. All right. So let's go to the number 4. We're gonna introduce inputs. So a lot of time when we're doing the material work with the custom node HLSL, we are using the inputs function that custom node provides. It's helping us to do a lot more dynamic change updates. Okay, so how do we do that? We can just declare. We don't need to actually declare. We just need to. First, we're gonna create inputs. We're gonna say input color, And we're gonna create another called light color. Okay, so let's just do this. We're gonna add to inputs color. And we're gonna do flow 3. It's flow 3 color. It's equal input color time light color. Okay. So this is, we're gonna return color. Okay, so we have two colors here that just create two colors. That's static input color. And then we're gonna create another one. We're gonna code it light color. Alright, let's plug in here and let's plug in here. Let's just give it a color like this. And let's give it a color like this. And let's see what can we get from the shader. Okay, this is what it turns out. If we change it to here, basically what it does is the function is helping us to multiply these two colors together and then return this color. Okay, so this is how you can do inputs. Remember, just first add the inputs from the details panel, then you're gonna to whatever you declare the name is, the variable name is, you're gonna make sure that you have it in your functions, or you gonna, if you just want to return the color, return the variable. Okay, and then so from here we're gonna to do some common functions. Okay. Talking about the functions, I have something to share with you. Okay. So I have collecting some of the functions that I use the most. Will be like sine, cosine, tan, power, floor, sine. All this thing that I listed here are the most things that I use. Okay, so I will share this Google Sheet or the PDF with you guys. Okay, so I'll just put it under my video description. Okay, so you can reference to when you're thinking of some of the function you're not sure how to use it. Okay. All right, so that's just give you guys an example of the common function. We're gonna do, we're gonna add another input to co-op. I'm gonna do lerp. Okay, lerp is a very useful function that we normally would do with, like, you're plugging here, you have alpha. This alpha will give you between how much portion that you want from the triangle A and triangle B, right? So we're gonna do the same thing with custom code. Okay, so we're gonna have the custom node here, and we're gonna add another input. So we're gonna code it alpha. Okay, so we're gonna give it a value. Excuse me, alpha, and I'm gonna give it another value called alpha. A variable, sorry, a parameter. Okay, so here we're gonna have a color still the same, but we're gonna do the function lerp. We're gonna lerp between the input color and light color. We're gonna have our alpha at the very end. LPH. Wow. Why did I spell it E? It's interesting. LPHA. So we return color, so we're gonna add to inputs color. We're gonna lerp to inputs colors by alpha. So you will see if we're doing lerp here, we do if you change it to almost 1, you will see the color look exactly like light color. If you change it back to 0, it looks exactly like inputs color. And if you go in the middle, it will be between these two colors. Okay, so this is a common function how you use it. So basically this is the same, the first inputs, the second inputs, the third inputs. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the next one, which is a very common use, is called texture sample. All right, let's just custom node. We're gonna say this is 06 texture sample. Okay, so this is a very common popular function. Hot function. Okay, hot function. So I use them a lot. I use this function a lot. Okay, so we're gonna try to do the same thing as the texture sample here. How you usually sample the texture, you will have the texture objects, right? Texture object, and you'll plug in here, and you have UV coordinates, right? So UV texture coordinates, So this is how you do a texture sample, right? So that's exactly how you're gonna to do it here in the custom node. First, we're gonna to have two inputs. One, we're gonna code it texture. Let's just say object. A second, we're gonna code it texture coord. Okay. What is called text? All right, sorry, you probably cannot use texture code. Okay, this is called the text object. Okay, it has to be a little bit different from the assigned variables that Unreal Engine define. Okay, so we're gonna write a custom code here. We're gonna say. First we're gonna say flow forward color output color is equal. This is the functional texture sample. Just remember it, okay? Sample. First we're gonna have the texture object inputs, so we're gonna code it text object, okay? And then this input is coming from here, okay? So the second one, which is the sampler, is gonna look at the first input's name. So it's gonna be text object. And then we're gonna add sampler. Finally, we're gonna put texture coord. Okay, that's it. That's all we got here. And we're gonna have texture object. We're just gonna quickly do a Unreal logo. It's called logo. Okay, U for logo. And let's do add texture coordinates. Let's plug in here. And we actually don't need to return. Didn't write a return, but let's do it. Return. Output color, because this is a flow forward data. Just remember when you wanted to do the output, just make sure this is adjusted to, this is changed back to flow forward data as you declare it. Okay, so there you go. This is doing exactly the same thing as texture sample. Okay, this does exactly the same thing. You can do the exactly same thing here. That will give you the exact same result. Just remember, the texture object is the first inputs here. We name it here, right? We put it here, right here. And then the second input is coming to here, and the sampler had to follow the first input as the prefix and add the sampler as the second inputs. Okay? Just remember that. This is the definition, so you just have to follow, okay? And later on, we're gonna introduce additional outputs. Okay, cool. Okay, it's gonna be additional outputs. Additional outputs. Okay. So let's just say we're gonna we're gonna return more than 2 outputs. We're gonna control the roughness from the custom node, and we also gonna control colors. We're gonna control specular. Okay, let's do first. We're gonna do color, float 3 color. We're gonna do it in float 3, just a very coding way. We're just gonna just type in numbers. Okay, so this is gonna be my color, and I'm gonna return a float data. It's roughness. I'm just gonna code it rough, and it's gonna equal 1. Okay, and we're gonna return a specular. We're gonna name it. We're gonna give it to 0.2. Okay. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. We're trying to do. So that's when we return, we're gonna return. Let's just say we're gonna return color from the first pin. Okay, so when you have the return and add the variable, this means like return. This will be the return. Okay, but how do we return the other 2 things? So we can do roughness is equal rough. Okay. And specular, it's equal spec. Okay, so we can do this. So, and then we just add 2 outputs. One is called roughness, and the other one we're gonna call it specular. Okay, let's count down here. Additional outputs. We know our return is base color, right? So what's the type? Oh, we have to change it back to float 3, and the roughness it's here, and the specular doing this. What's going on? Full color 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Let me see customer here. Customer missing the 1 inputs. Oh, excuse me. I have to remove this both inputs. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. We have additional outputs. That's covered. We need to go through full loop. This is a very, very important functions called for loop. Is basically the most important function that you can find from custom node. Okay, so how do we actually do for loop? We can do a color. We're gonna code it input color, and I have a for loop. We're gonna code it I int I it's equal 0, and we're gonna say I is smaller than number or 10. Okay, let's just do 10 first. I plus plus. So what do we do inside for loop? We just do color. It's plus color. Okay, we're gonna make sure the color continue accumulating, and finally we're gonna return that color. Okay, so we're gonna have the input color. Input color. So let's just do a very interesting value. Input color. So if I plug in 0, and we don't need the other outputs, so let's delete all the other outputs here. So I keep it here. Oh, int I is equal 0. Is there anything that I missed? Oh, excuse me. Okay, there you go. So what it does is it do accumulate 0 10 times, and then finally let's do a custom node. So we're gonna do a first we're gonna commands. We're gonna say 09 combined utilization. So we're gonna remove everything here. let's just do a stylized material. Okay, so math dot function. We're gonna do the stylized shader. So first of all, we're gonna to have what our goal is. We're gonna use the Unreal Engine light vector to control the shader, the texture shader. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, let's do float 3. We're gonna have a normal. It's equal normalized in normal. Okay, so we're gonna have an input called in normal, and we're gonna use vertex normal world position. So this is gonna help us to decide which normal they're looking at. And the second geo normal, get geo normal, and then we're gonna get the lights. Okay, so we're gonna get load directional light. So we're gonna get another full for 3 from the light director. Actually, we don't need to get it. We're gonna calculate the flow data between the light directional data and the normal. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna do a normal dot the light. It's gonna be max dot normal light director and 0.0. I will explain this. Just give me a second. So we're gonna have inputs, right? So we're gonna have inputs. We're gonna code it. We're gonna code it light direction. Okay, so this is gonna be the light direction. We have a normal here, right? And I'm adding another max value to keep everything under 0, 0. Okay. So what I do here is I'm doing a dot product. For people who doesn't know dot product, which means this dot product, what it does is it helps two different vector to know their relationship. If there are two vectors is in generally pointing opposite, this dot product value will be -1 or from 0 to -1. Okay, if two vector, their general direction is pointing the same direction. For example, like these two fingers are pointing the same direction wherever it goes, but it's in generally pointing the same. The dot product result, the final value will be from 0 to 1. It will be a positive value. So dot product is actually helping us to find out whether the two vectors are generally pointing opposite or generally pointing in the same direction. Okay, that's what dot product does. And then so from this formula, we can get either negative value or 0 or positive value, only 3. Right. So if we go from under 0 is negative value, we have this max function to keep it 0. Okay, just make everything under 0, 0. Okay, so this is this n to n dot arrow does, and we're gonna give it a sky atmosphere light, atmosphere light direction. So I'm gonna plug in here. What we're gonna return is we're gonna return flow data. Actually, let's just flow 3 data. Okay, let's plug in here. So output it's in normal light direction. No more. No. Sorry. All right. So we can have this material and we just kind of plug in here. Let's do that. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Do this, and then we can make it even crazier. Just plug into atmosphere fog. Let's keep it as 0. And let's keep the spec here 0 as well. So you could see like front directional line. This is the basic way to create stylized shader. Alright, that's the whole tutorial for this basic understanding of HLSL inside Unreal Engine custom node. And I just hope you figure something today, and thank you for watching. If you have any question, you're welcome to leave your comments on the video.